Hey everybody, I'm Dylan with ON1, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to make quick and easy holiday cards using ON1 Photo RAW 2020. Just in time for the holidays so that you can send your photos to your friends and your family. Inside ON1 Photo RAW 2020, just navigate to the family photos that you want to use on your holiday cards. So I have a couple family photos here, and the reason that these family photos look great on holiday cards is they have these areas on the foreground and even in the background that you could add text onto really easily. If you have a family photo or a family portrait and it's incredibly busy, it may be hard to add text onto, and it may not work for a holiday card. So we'll just select this photo here, and to head into the edit module really quickly, I'm just going to hit D on my keyboard, and that will take me directly into my Develop tab. So the first thing I'm going to do to this image is I'm just going to crop it. And the reason I want to crop it is so that I can make it a 5x7, which is a more typical postcard or holiday card dimension. So I'll just hit C on my keyboard. That's going to grab me my crop tool. And I'm going to head up to my top tool modifier bar here. I'm going to click in my presets, and I'm going to make sure that it's on a 5x7. So now we've cropped out a little bit of the right and left side of the frame. So I'll just hit enter on my keyboard. So before we actually add text onto the shot to make it a holiday card, we need to go in and dim down these areas on the foreground so that we have a place to put our text. So the first filter I want to add onto this shot, I'm just going to add a nice vignette. So I'll just go into my effects tab here. I'll add a filter, and I'll add the vignette. And I'm going to use this big softy preset. So now we'll grab our vignette positioning tool with this icon here, and then I can just drag this around, and I'm going to place it right on the center of the boy in the shot. And if I turn this off and on, it darkens these areas in the foreground and on the corners here so that we're really just focused on this center area of our shot. So now we'll add one last filter here, and this is the filter that's going to make it look more like a holiday card. And this is the borders filter. So I'll click on borders, and I'm going to use this white preset. And that's going to trim down the edges of the border a little bit. So now in this borders filter, I'm going to head down into my transform tools, and I'm going to fit the image a little bit more so that we're not cropping off the back of her hair. So we need to do one last thing before we apply text to this shot, and we need to put on a local adjustment on the bottom here so that we can darken this area, and we have a nice little canvas to place our text onto. So I'll go into my local adjustments tab. I'm going to make sure this local adjustment layer is set to darken. And now I'm going to grab my adjustable gradient by holding down Shift and hitting K on my keyboard. And I'm going to head up to my top tool modifier bar here, and in my preset, I'm going to make sure I have linear top selected. That's going to make sure that the bottom area or the foreground of the shot is where the adjustment is applied to. We want to protect the top area, so this is going to be the best preset for that. So I'll click on linear top. Now I'll just drop this down kind of on the bottom of the shot here. I'll pull it up a little bit. And now if I turn this off and on, we can go in and add text right here, and it will stand out from the picture a lot better. So to add text onto the shot, I'm just going to hit T on my keyboard, and that will add a new text box onto the photograph. So with this text selected here, we're just going to type in Merry Christmas. But we need to change the font into something a little more holiday-like. So I'll highlight all of the text here, and I'm going to head up to my font menu, and I'm going to scroll down to this Scriptina font right there. So I'm using this Scriptina font, which adds a nice holiday flair to the text, and I'm also including the link to that font in the description of the video so that you can download the font as well. And keeping this text highlighted, I'm going to head up to my font size menu here. I'm going to click inside of it, and I'm going to resize the font about 500 pixels. And that's going to make the text very large on the image. But our text box is incredibly small, so we can't see all of it. So we'll click out of the text box. I can click the text box, I'll move it over here, and then I'll just drag this right handle to the right until I can see the other word. And now I can just drag this around and I can place this text where we put the local adjustment, and you can see it really pops out now from the photograph. So now we have our holiday card coming along, and it says Merry Christmas, but what about from who? So to put the from onto it, we're going to use a different font. And to add a new text box onto the shot, I'm going to head up, I'll click Add. So now we have another text box on the shot, and with this text still selected, I'm going to head up to my font menu, and I'm going to scroll all the way up, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and I'm going to choose Avenir. Now I'll just type in from the Anderson family so that they know who the card is from. So I'll just click out of the text box. I'll move this text over a little bit so I can see it. Then I'll make the text box a lot larger. And now we'll head up to our font size and we'll choose maybe a 96. Perfect. So now I can make this text box a lot smaller here. And then I can just drag this down and I'll position it kind of right in the middle, right there. So now we've taken this photo and we've turned it into a nice holiday card using some filters, a local adjustment, and text.